Standing up for this one, mixing it up, crazy, I know. It feels so professional. I got a backlight. Well, it's not really a backlight, it's the Christmas Story lamp, but still, it feels better, you know? This video is entitled Brave Titles and Pixar Sequels for 3 reasons. It's about Brave, titles, and Pixar sequels. So yeah, first order of business, Brave. I liked it. I thought it was great. It was everything I wanted it to be. Brave is cute and sweet and charming and adorable and funny and heartbreaking and heartwarming, just like you'd expect from any other Pixar film. God, stand-up vlogging is weird. Something I didn't realize until I was actually watching the movie in the theater is that based on the couple of trailers that I saw for Brave, I really didn't know that much about it. Now, I'm not gonna spoil it for those of you that live in Europe, because I know you get it in like August, which is ridiculous because it takes place in Scotland. It's about Merida, a defiant, headstrong teenager. Unfortunately, she's the only princess of Dombroch, and her mom wants her to be like a proper princess and stuff. A princess does not place her weapons on the table. Okay, from the trailers for Brave, it didn't look like the movie had much to do with the mom, but the mom's actually a huge component in the movie, which is something I didn't know previously. Oh, and it looks awesome, obviously. Like, have you seen Merida's hair in the trailers and stuff? It's amazing. Yeah, Brave is good. It's just as good as you'd expect any other Pixar movie to be, so I would recommend that you go see it. When I was in the theater for Brave, there was a preview for Monsters University, which is the sequel to Monsters Incorporated. It looks good enough from that 30-second trailer, but I'm just saying Pixar doesn't have the best track record with sequels so far. And granted, Toy Story 3 was amazing, but you had to go through Toy Story 3 to get to Toy Story 3, and Toy Story 2 blows. Then there's Cars 2, which apparently blows, but I haven't seen it. And watch, soon enough we're gonna get something like Up 2, which would be less than desirable. Why is Pixar doing sequels a lot now? I don't like that. And our final order of business, titles, specifically what makes a title of something good or bad. As aforementioned, the title of this video is Brave Titles and Pixar Sequels, which I think is a good title. Brave Titles and Pixar Sequels is a unique combination of words that you wouldn't use in a sentence unless you were trying to describe this specific video, unless there's something else in the universe called Brave Titles and Pixar Sequels. That's what makes it a good title. And I believe I've developed a pretty efficient system for deciding whether the title of something is good or bad. If you have to use the word that in describing that particular thing, then you probably have a bad title. A good example of that would be Jaws, the movie. See what I did there? In describing the movie Jaws, I had to use the words the movie or that movie Jaws, because otherwise people wouldn't know what I was talking about. Jaws is a famous movie, but Jaws is also just a word. This right here is a jaw. So in describing that particular film, it could get confusing as to what you were actually trying to get at, so you'd have to use the word that movie Jaws, or that band Kiss, and so on. But then take the Hunger Games. Would you ever use the phrase Hunger Games unless you were trying to describe that particular series? No, you wouldn't, and that's why it's a good title. Same goes for Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. You wouldn't say Scott Pilgrim vs. the World unless you were trying to talk about Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, the comic book series / amazing movie. Oftentimes, titles of things that don't follow this rule are composed of only one word, therefore making it that much harder to identify the thing for what you're meant to be talking about. Brave is one of these one-word titles. You have to say that movie Brave when you're talking about Brave. You know, the original title for the movie was The Bear in the Boat, which I think would have been a much better title because it fits that rule, that system. Now, as with any rule, there are, of course, exceptions. While something like Brave could tend to be confusing in conversation because the title itself is a word with multiple meanings, something like, say, The Terminator wouldn't be nearly as confusing. Even though it is a one-word title, the word Terminator itself is basically just a made-up word, which makes it instantly recognizable to that particular film. Now, here are just a few examples of good title, bad title. Good title, bad title, good title, bad titles. You get me? Bottom line, titles are important. Usually when I'm making a video, I film, then edit, then film, then edit, but I didn't do that today, so I don't know how long it's gonna be or if it's gonna be good or not, and oh my god, it's stressful. Like, how do people make videos like that? You know what? I like the stand-up vlog. I'm more mobile. I can do stuff now. But yeah, that's all for today.